We're here today in the Oregon Hill neighborhood, just outside of Richmond, Virginia, and we're talking to Master Gardener Phaedra Heiss, and she's going to talk to us today about the concept of foodscaping. Phaedra, what is foodscaping?
So foodscaping is kind of what it sounds like. It's landscaping, so it's attractive, but with food, with edible plants.
And so what do you have in your foodscape? Do you have a lot of annuals or perennials?
Good foodscaping is actually a mix of both. So generally what I do, because vegetables are pretty much annuals, they go in every year fresh. So I tend to have those just be the annuals, and then with flowers I try to do more perennials so that they're low maintenance, low care. I know they're going to return year after year.
Speaking of perennials, can you use a mixture of herbs also as part of your foodscaping?
Yeah, herbs are a really great perennial, and they're also, for an urban landscape like Oregon Hill where it's hot and dry and sunny, they do really, really well. Italian herbs like rosemary and all of those.
So what are we going to see here today in your garden?
Right now is kind of an odd time of year. It's called the Hungry Gap, and it means that your winter vegetables they're kind of at the end of their life, but your spring and summer vegetables haven't really kicked in yet. So you're going to see some early spring things like peas and lettuces and arugula are coming in, and then you're also going to see some late winter things like collards and kale, onions, some broccoli, and then some bulbs have already come up and gone, but then I've got some peonies that are coming in, and a couple of other flowers that you'll see, early flowers.
So you mentioned some flowers. A lot of them are ornamental. Do you use any that you also eat?
I do. I eat marigolds and nasturtiums. They're both beautiful, and they both have a kind of a peppery flavor, and they're a nice little bright pop of color in a salad.
You mentioned that these annual vegetables are finishing up their life cycle. What do you do special then to change them out and put into the warm vegetable season?
You know, I don't really do much special. I don't have to do a whole lot to the soil because I'm not doing like a mass removal of vegetation and then replacing it. The soil is pretty healthy because these flowers, these perennials are there keeping their roots in the soil and keeping the microbes happy. So what I generally will do is succession plant, and that means like I'll grow some collards, and then as the collards start to be done and I'm eating those, daffodils will come up, and then as the daffodils start to die back, I'll pop a tomato in there. So there's not really an empty space at any given moment.
We mentioned annuals and perennials, but I see some fruit tree here. What are we looking at over here with this big tree?
That's my fig. I'm so excited about it. So with the fig, I've done something that used to be really popular in like the 1800s. It's called espalier, and it's when you very aggressively prune the tree so that it just has a few limbs coming out that grow fruit, and that's so that you can actually reach all of the limbs and harvest all of the fruit.
This is fairly big size, I think. How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, this fig is 3 years old.
Only 3 years old.
They're fast growing, and I'm hoping it's got fruit set on it this year. I'm hoping to get figs. I didn't get any last year, hoping to get them this year.
I hope so too for you. Well, thank you so much for showing us your garden today, Phaedra, and talking about foodscaping. For more information about foodscaping, contact your local master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Ed Olsen. See you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.